and it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got nice clothes and you know, and you're and you've done something that people admire, you know, but it can never fulfill you. You can never be happy. You know what I mean? It's not where happiness comes from. And you know, I dealt with depression, you know, a few years ago, and people still think, well, he's going through. You can tell he's depressed, and it's not. I have no depression in my life whatsoever. Literally none. I have sadness and joy and elation and satisfaction and gratitude beyond belief, but all of it is weather, and it just spins around the planet. You know, it's not. It doesn't sit on me long enough to kill me.
Do you have a happy place? Besides here.
There's just
It's just
everywhere.
with us,
There's
right?
just everything. The happy place is realizing that you're everything, you know, and that there's no real you involved in the first place. You know, it's a weird little semantic jump that you make where it sounds like, well, that's totally fucking threatening, man. I can't not be me. I've built this construct.
Yeah.
You know, from the time I was given a name, and then I'm a fucking Celt. My mother's, you know, great-grandmother was fucking raped by a Viking, and that's what makes me strong, you know, or whatever it is. And it's just ideas. They're
Right.
just ideas. You know, the only thing that separates you from an African American or an African Canadian is an idea. You know, and the weather.
Right.
You know, and the adaptation to the climate, and whatever it is, I don't believe in any of it, and so the feeling of wholeness is a different feeling than meanness. You know?
One of the things you said in the film in Jim and Andy, which really kind of struck a chord with both Jeff and I, was that, you know, we're playing characters and characters are playing us.
Yeah.
I feel like that folds into this idea that you're telling us about quite nicely, and I'm wondering if you could expand upon it a little bit.
Well, it's crazy because you see, you know, I mean, throughout time, like Andy, like Lenny Bruce, like breakthrough people, artists and whatever, refuse to wear the mask. Although Andy was putting masks on, in temperament and in his approach, he wasn't wearing a mask. He was going right for whatever you thought was precious.
Right.
And those types of people make it really hard for people to wear their masks, you know? So those who wish to masquerade for the rest of this virtual game sometimes are made really uncomfortable by it. You know, they're like, it really looks like a mask beside somebody who's not wearing a mask. Yeah.
Do you think there could be growth from that for those kinds of people, like that
I have a growth.
uncomfortability? Oh God! All right, well,
Yeah.
is it
I'm
possible?
not having it removed either.
Well, there you go.
Never. In the documentary, you mentioned that characters like
I have a
Stan-
melanoma. It's called Trump.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, do you feel like happier to be up north where we're slightly away from him right now?
I don't know if happier is the word, but I'm always, you know, I always have a beautiful feeling coming back and listening to April Wine. Every time I come back, I like to listen to the bands I grew up with and stuff like that, and imagine the Ravine and Tammy Lauren making out and having my brother buy the 2-4 of Export and whatever. You know, I go through all that stuff. You know. And I get glimpses, like when I talk to you guys, I'm feeling the Canadian thing,
Yeah.
and it's great. You know, when you come to the film festival, you know, a lot of that is kind of obscured. You could be anywhere because all I'm seeing is Jim, please, oh God, like that. Oh, come on, Jim, you didn't get me over there. I was over there and you didn't get me, and that kind of stuff. And so that's not really a Canadian thing.
Right.
It doesn't feel like anyway. And but it is. It's always nice to be back here. It's always nice to be back here. It's a beautiful place. You know, it's a kind of heaven. You know.
You, in the documentary, you mentioned that characters like Stanley Ipkiss in The Mask, Truman Burbank, Truman Show, Joel Barish, Eternal Sunshine, they all represented emotional states that you were in at that time of production. I thought that was really interesting. Do you think you were looking for these characters, or were these characters kind of born out of the place that you were in?
Yeah, they're attracted to whatever that